7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
We are following several breaking stories on this hour of Eyewitness News, including the assault weapons ban set to become law here in Illinois in less than an hour.
Plus, the SWAT team called out to a high rise on the north side. We have a live report for you.
Plane forced to make an emergency landing on the side of a suburban tollway.
President Biden speaking for the first time on those classified documents found at the former office that he had. But we begin tonight right here at home. Ongoing SWAT situation in Chicago's Old Town neighborhood. Happening at a high rise near Wells and Division. Stephanie Wade joins us live from the scene. She's been there for over an hour. Stephanie, what have you learned tonight?
Well, Rob and Cheryl, we are still here at Division and Wells, where, as you can see behind me, there is still a heavy police presence. Let me step aside and show you what it looks like right now. All focusing again on this stretch of Wells. Here's what we know right now. According to Chicago police, Illinois State Police identified a stolen vehicle with multiple people inside. Those people then ran into a building. That building is 1140 North Wells Street here in Old Town. That's a busy, popular high-rise apartment building here in Old Town. State police say they do have a person of interest now in custody, but are looking for more people who were inside that stolen vehicle. Police have also recovered several firearms, they say, from the scene here. And we do have video of police handcuffing at least 2 people. That happened at Hill and Wells just a little bit ago. As you know, this is a very busy area with many apartment buildings, restaurants, people, and businesses here. Right now, police still have Division Street closed off from Orleans to Wells, and Wells closed off from Division to Hill Street. Of course, all of this happening during rush hour. Again, police do have 1 person in custody, but they are looking for several others who were inside that vehicle. We are awaiting more information from police. We're supposed to be hearing an update from them soon. Of course, as we learn more information, we will keep you updated. We were live in Old Town. Stephanie Wade, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
That still looks like a very active scene. Stephanie, thank you for the update here at 7. We got more breaking news. This in the southwest suburbs where that plane landed on the side of I-355. This is near Bolingbrook.
Well, the pilot was forced to make an emergency landing, and crews strapping the plane onto a truck and driving it away. This happened just a short time ago. Tonight, Liz Nagy reporting from Bolingbrook.
Hours after it went down, that small plane has now finally been lifted onto a flatbed to safely be towed off the side of the road. We're told it was headed to an air park just about 4 miles by ground when the pilot realized it wasn't going to make it. The Beechcraft single-engine plane touched down abruptly mid-afternoon, landing right alongside car traffic on the I-355 tollway that was already backing up in the afternoon rush.
If I'm reading correctly, the plane landed, not crashed.
It came to a halt perfectly intact along the swampy embankment of a shoulder with just a single pilot on board.
That's correct. It's going to be on the shoulder. Pilot saying that the plane just quit.
That pilot and a small team of responders immediately lifted the hood of the plane and began checking the engine. At one point, someone scrambled over the wing and into the cockpit to continue the emergency inspection. All of this played out as astonished drivers stacked up in an unusual gapers block. But this Beechcraft roadside landing is the second in 2 years along 355. Another landed along the same tollway closer to New Lenox in May 2021 due to mechanical issues. Now, hours after this emergency landing, crews are figuring out how to remove the plane from the roadway and get it to its destination at a Downers Grove Air Park. Emergency crews say that pilot is perfectly okay, was uninjured in all of this, and people at the air park say the plane was unharmed as well. Now the FAA will be part of the investigation to figure out exactly what went wrong with the plane. Reporting in Bolingbrook, Liz Nagy, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Busy evening here on this Tuesday night. We have breaking news out of Springfield, where Governor Pritzker is set to sign an assault weapons ban into law in less than an hour. It passed the House this afternoon. Political reporter Craig Wall reports from outside the governor's office tonight.
The podium and the table set up here behind me are for the governor to sign the historic legislation tonight to put the assault weapons ban into effect as soon as possible. Democrats exchanging hugs and high fives after successfully passing the assault weapons ban, making Illinois the 9th state to outlaw the weapons that have become synonymous with mass shootings. In the speaker's gallery above, the members of Moms Demand Action celebrating the legislation that they have been working on for years. Joining them, a survivor of the mass shooting in Highland Park.
It's just a moment of just elation and joy and pride and gratefulness for our lawmakers. I'm so grateful to each and every one of our lawmakers who heard us and who took action and didn't give thoughts and prayers.
House Speaker Chris Welch making a plea for support just before the vote.
It's time that we protect Illinois communities. It's time that we protect Illinois families. Let's not lose any more brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles and children to gun violence.
The law bans the sale of assault weapons and high-powered magazines along with rapid-fire devices. The Illinois State Rifle Association estimates the ban will impact nearly 2.5 million Illinois gun owners. They plan to fight it in court with a message to supporters.
We are going to fight for your rights, that we are going to try to overturn this and declare this unconstitutional. And we'll continue to fight for your rights.
Supporters of the ban relieved, believing it will save lives.
It's incredibly gratifying. It's the end of a really long process and then just the beginning of more work that needs to be done.
The governor is still waiting for a physical copy of the bill. One of the reasons for the urgency in getting it signed is to prevent a run on the weapons that would become illegal. Those who already have them before the ban goes into effect would be grandfathered in. In Springfield, Craig Wall, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Craig, keep an eye on that for us down in Springfield. There's a live look at the city. Today was awesome, Cheryl. Did you have a chance to enjoy it?
I did. I was outside and I noticed people were out running, doing a lot, and people had less clothes on today.
There were probably some shorts for sure.
I saw a lot of shorts.
For Chicago, this is shorts weather for the runners in particular.
Right. They were jogging. I mean, and the sun was out. People act really different. They're joyful. They're happy. I felt different. I was like, ooh, I felt like Marsha Brady after, she got hit by the football. Right. And she came back and it was just, the sun was shining. You remember that episode? It was just like, the world is all right now. So
Phil, let's keep throwing footballs. Yeah, throw footballs at us more because we need it today.
Oh, we got another nice one coming tomorrow. Yay. Not quite as sunny as today, maybe not quite as warm, but still way above normal. Officially at O'Hare, we hit 50 degrees. Midway not far behind with a high of 49. This is the warmest day since back on December 30th. 14 straight days, the average daily temperature has been above normal, and another very mild day for tomorrow. Right now, look at these numbers. This is still above normal for our high temperatures, let alone at 7 o'clock at night. 36 in Wilmette, 37 in Naperville, still 42 at O'Hare, as well as in Crown Point. But we are beginning to see some clouds approach from the west. You can see plenty of cloud cover back to the west. So tomorrow will not be as sunny as today. But apart from a sprinkle, it will be a dry day. And you can see temperatures getting into the upper 40s, limited sunshine throughout the day. Then Thursday, a storm system passes primarily to our south. Maybe some light rain mixed with some snow. No accumulation expected. Coldest day of the week, that comes Friday. And even then, we're talking about a high of 35, but it's going to be kind of gusty and raw for both Thursday and Friday. We'll have your weekend outlook. Take a look into next week. That coming up in just a few minutes.
Yeah, lots to still discuss, Phil. We'll see you soon. More breaking news tonight. President Biden is addressing those classified documents found at his Biden Penn Center office for the first time.
Well, the White House saying that it is cooperating with the Justice Department. Elizabeth Schulze reporting from Washington tonight.
President Biden is facing new scrutiny as the Justice Department looks into how classified files from his time as vice president in the Obama administration ended up in a private office workspace instead of properly stored at the National Archives. Sources tell ABC News about 10 classified documents, some marked as top secret, were discovered one day before the midterm elections in November in an office at the Penn Biden Center think tank in Washington, D.C. Biden had worked in that space from 2017 until the start of his 2020 campaign. In Mexico today, the president addressing the documents for the first time.
I don't know what's in the documents. My lawyers have not suggested I ask what documents they were. I've turned over the boxes. They've turned over the boxes to the archives.
Republicans calling Biden hypocritical after he criticized former President Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate.
I just know that he said it was very irresponsible for President Trump to take classified document to his personal residence and have them in an unsecured location, and it appears he did the same thing.
But the White House points to key differences in the cases, saying it's fully cooperating with the Justice Department and National Archives, adding the documents were discovered by Biden's personal attorneys as they were cleaning out a locked office space. Those lawyers immediately notified the archives and turned over the files within a day. Trump's legal team allegedly resisted an FBI subpoena to turn over hundreds of documents, leading to the court-authorized search of his Mar-a-Lago home. Authorities also allege Trump may have obstructed justice in the investigation.
The Republican-led House Oversight Committee now says it will investigate President Biden's handling of the documents. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth. Now, senior citizens back here at home being attacked by armed thieves on Chicago's South Side. Chicago police say there have been a dozen attacks in which seniors have been robbed at gunpoint of their belongings or their vehicles. Now, in the Pill Hill and Calumet Heights neighborhood, Angela Hongo says her car was stolen right in front of her home. Police tracked it down 2 days later. The car was badly damaged and many items were missing.
So you think you're safe, you know, nice neighborhood, people are here, it's not going to happen to you, but the unthinkable happens.
Aldermen for the 7th and 8th wards are planning a town hall meeting next week to talk to the residents about fighting these crimes.
We have a new reaction tonight to a massive settlement involving Sterigenics. The medical sterilization company says it will pay $408 million to settle more than 800 lawsuits. Those lawsuits claim that the facility in suburban Willowbrook emitted cancer-causing toxins into the air. Michelle Gallardo takes a look at what the settlement means.
It was just last September that a jury awarded Willowbrook cancer survivor Sue Kamuta $363 million in damages in her lawsuit against Sterigenics.
Just hearing that guilty, guilty, guilty was, I think I shut down after that. It was what I wanted to hear.
Now, in a settlement agreement that includes Kamuta's case, Sterigenics says they will agree to pay out $408 million to bring to an end the more than 870 pending cases against them. The medical supply sterilization company's Willowbrook campus was shut down by the EPA in 2019 after it was determined that people living within a mile and a half of the facility were 10 times more likely to develop cancer.
And this is often how these cases resolve. It is simply too cumbersome, too expensive for companies to fight out case by case all the individual suits.
Under the terms of the agreement, each plaintiff would get an offer based on their specific case, and nearly all of those suing would have to sign on. Furthermore, the company does not admit liability, saying that Sterigenics maintains its Willowbrook operations did not pose a safety risk to the community.
They knew they could reduce emissions and they chose not to. When Willowbrook happened, they then said, oh, we'll fix it in Willowbrook, but they didn't do it anywhere else in the country. Then when Georgia found out, they're like, oh, we'll fix Georgia, but they still didn't do it anywhere else.
In separate but nearly identically worded statements issued today, two of the largest law firms representing more than 600 plaintiffs said, "Our hope is that hundreds of deserving families will soon be fairly compensated under this agreement and will avoid both the uncertainty of trial and the risk that their cases might be delayed for years, if not decades." If the settlement agreement is ultimately accepted by a majority of the plaintiffs, Sterigenics' parent company has agreed to pay out the $408 million by May the 1st. In Willowbrook, I'm Michelle Gallardo, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Michelle, thanks so much for that. A U.S. Postal truck is damaged by gunfire on Chicago's near northwest side. Police confirming that the truck was hit by bullets near Ashland and Pearson. Witnesses telling us that someone in a blue car on Ashland appeared to target people on the sidewalk and that those people returned fire, hitting the truck. So far, no injuries have been reported.
Local family fighting to keep a convicted killer behind bars as he fights for his freedom and a second chance. Robert Turner was convicted of Bridget Drobny's murder back in 1985.
Well, the Downers Grove teenager was assaulted and killed on her way to a wedding. It happened in Macoupin County Cornfield. Our Christian Pico's talking to her family today and the group trying to get Turner out of prison.
We believe he's had a second chance, folks. He was supposed to be dead.
Powerful words from the brother of Bridget Drobny. Bridget was raped and killed in a rural Macoupin County, Illinois cornfield as a 16-year-old nearly 40 years ago in 1985. Robert Turner was convicted and sentenced to death in Bridget's murder, but his punishment was reduced to life in prison by former Governor George Ryan. Two others, Michael Turner and Daniel Hines, were also convicted in Bridget's death.
The Prisoner Project believes that everyone is entitled to healing and a second chance. Robert Turner doesn't fit any of the principles they stand upon.
Now the Illinois Prison Project is representing Turner in a clemency hearing in front of the Illinois Prison Review Board, which opened painful wounds for Bridget's family, forcing them to recount Bridget's gruesome murder.
She was with me. Yeah, stay with me, Bridget. Get me through this, because I'm not a public speaker.
The Illinois Prison Project is arguing that Turner has served his time and deserves a second chance.
People grow, that they can be redeemed, and that 40 years in prison no longer serves anyone.
Now he's trying to go for another commutation. I hope to God, and I pray to God that that doesn't happen.
Bridget's family says they aren't against second chances, but they also say that Robert's brazen killing of Bridget is the exception.
Some people have to get a break, but not, like we said, not him, because he'll go out and do it again.
The Illinois Prison Review Board will now deliberate behind closed doors and make a recommendation to the governor, who will ultimately decide Robert Turner's future. At University of Illinois Chicago, Christian Picos, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks so much for that, Christian. Well, tonight we are hearing from outgoing Illinois House Republican leader Jim Durkin. Today was his final day as a lawmaker. He represented the western suburbs for 22 years. He announced his resignation over the weekend.
You know it in your heart and your stomach when it's time to go. And, you leave under your own terms.
And Durkin is leaving after a tough November election where his party lost seats in the House. Some Republicans blamed it on part of Durkin's leadership. Well, Durkin believes that there were other factors at work beyond his control. He says the Republican Party needs a rebranding.
Metra is slowly rolling out its new train tracker. MetraTracker.com uses GPS technology to pinpoint trains, giving customers accurate locations for when their train should arrive. You can also use the website to find your nearest station and plan out your ride. While the website's launches today, some lines, including Union Pacific branches and the Southwest and BNSF lines, will go online as the year progresses.
Got a question for you. Yeah, it says Mega Millions, but who wants to be a billionaire? The massive amount, yeah, we all do. Money up for grabs in tonight's Powerball drawing that's just ahead.
Look forward to it. Also, dramatic video out of California's heavy rains also caused massive sinkholes. Wow. Right now, West Coast being hammered by rain. This is video of tunnels at Union Station in Los Angeles flooding because of all that water. Crews bringing in golf carts to help people get through all the water. Take a look at this. This is video from the parking garage of a shopping mall in LA. You can see a geyser water shooting up from a storm drain there.
It is unbelievable. And as the storm caused all kinds of problems, take a look at this. Yeah, it is a massive sinkhole in Chatsworth, which is in Los Angeles County. It swallowed up 2 cars. The people inside one of the cars got out on their own, but firefighters had to rescue a girl and a woman who thankfully just had minor injuries. When you look at that, can you imagine what's going through their minds?
No,
when their car is sinking and you have no control.
Nothing.
And it's just being swallowed up by the earth.
It's just weird to see. And
wow.
People have lost their lives. This is a deadly storm. They just
Very
keep
catastrophic.
getting hit. They're being hit hard with rain. Now, Phil's here to talk more about that. And take a live look outside here. We had a great day. And you wonder, will that storm make its way toward us as it moves east, Phil?
You know, pieces of it will, but in a much weaker state because the main trough still is off the California coast and really isn't moving much. So they get one wave after another. Some places in California, 2 to 3 feet of rain already this month. For us, it has been an unseasonably mild January. The average daily temperature has been above normal every single day so far this month, and that trend will continue with highs most days into the 40s. Yeah, there will be some days in the low to mid 30s, but even that's a few degrees above normal. Late January, that's when it looks like things will start to change, as some of our extended models have been pretty persistent, showing that temperatures will turn significantly colder, but that's not till January 24th, 25th, and as we head into early February. So will it change? Yes, but not right away. And look at this. The high temperatures every day this month at or above normal. The coldest day this past Saturday when we had a high of 32. The average temperature for the month, including today, is now at about 36 degrees. That's nearly 10 degrees above normal. And we are right now on pace for the 4th warmest January on record. That could certainly change as we do get that colder weather very late in the month. Today's high, there it is, 50 degrees. Last year on this day, look at that, 16 degrees. Not only is that way below where we were today, it's also 18 degrees colder than our low temperature today, which only got down to 34, and that's about where we're going to go tonight. Right now at O'Hare, it's 42 degrees with partly cloudy skies, light winds out of the southwest. Still 33 in Plainfield, 36 for you folks in beautiful Crete, 35 in Bourbonnais, and 36 in Munster. No Arctic cold air, but it is cold enough that there will be some snow and ice up around the Twin Cities later tonight and into early tomorrow as this next system travels to our north. Not a real strong one, but it is pulling a warm front into our area, and that's going to help to generate some clouds. There you see the moist flow continuing into California. The actual low is right there. As it comes on shore, this moisture will continue into tonight, and you can see there are winter storm warnings in effect for the mountains with another 2 feet of snow expected, and flood watches and warnings throughout much of California. But then they'll get a little bit of a break from the excessive rainfall during tomorrow afternoon. So we're watching this system. It's not a real strong one. It is pulling the warm air into our area, but notice how the clouds thicken up overnight. Tomorrow's high make it up easily to 48 degrees. Not as sunny as today. There could be some patchy light rain. Most of the day will be dry. Then that front moves through. We'll get more of an east to northeast flow as we head into Thursday. And here's the storm system we're watching. It will likely bring us some light rain. That could mix with maybe even change over to a bit of snow by Thursday afternoon. Most of this moisture will be just south of the city. You folks in the southern suburbs have the best chance of seeing some rain changing to snow, but temperatures stay above freezing and the precipitation moves out late in the day Thursday. Thursday's high happens early in the day. Best chance for accumulating storm from this system will be across northeast Indiana and up towards Detroit. So overnight tonight, the clouds will thicken. Lows of 31 to 38, most places staying above freezing. Highs tomorrow close to where we were today, 44 to 50, but not as sunny as today. Here's your extended outlook. You think you're going to have some cold weather? Think again. The coldest day Friday when there could be some lake flurries, maybe even some minor accumulations in northwest Indiana. For MLK Day, looks like we're going to see more rain, but a high temperature back up towards 50 degrees.
All right, Phil, thank you. Now, the future of gas stoves is being studied, and it is possible they could be banned in the future. The Consumer Product Safety Commission planning to collect data on potential hazards and will propose solutions. Gas stoves are used in about 40% of the homes in the United States, and they can emit pollutants which have been linked to respiratory illness and other health problems.
That's interesting. Gas
I know.
seems to cook your food
Right.
better, some would argue, right? Well, luxury car brands reported record sales last year. Rolls-Royce delivered more than 6,000 cars for the first time in the company's history. Lamborghini delivered more than 9,000, up 10% from 2021. And Phil's new ride, Bentley, also saw a slight increase.
Is that
too.
his
He's got
retirement
two of
ride?
them. Yes, right. They saw an increase of 4%.
Wow, that's an interesting study, too.
Right, I
Very
agree.
interesting information. Well, talk about after 20 years in business, a once popular River North restaurant has closed its doors. Rock Bottom Brewery on State and Grand closed on Sunday. A sign on the door reads that the brewery has permanently shut its doors, but it does not give a reason. The sign directs anyone with gift cards or loyalty rewards to redeem them at other locations.
Lined up outside a new fast food restaurant that's known for its chicken fingers, Raising Cane's.
Oh man, I could go for that right now.
It was founded in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now it has a new flagship location at 2 North Michigan Avenue. I don't think I've had Raising Cane's. That's bad. I need to have it.
I've never had it either, but I give it out every year to several people for gift cards.
Yeah, Judy said her family, her kids love it.
Yeah, it's in the suburbs a lot, so.
Can you make a bad chicken finger, really?
Oh, they said it's better than any place you've ever had fast food
Oh,
chicken.
Micah says it's good. It's not
so,
far from here. We need to take a little gander over there and try it out.
I'm like, can you go now?
Are you hungry? No dinner yet?
Right.
I haven't
I'm
eaten
very
yet.
hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get
So-
through it. We got 35 minutes and we
All right,
feast.
just a half hour.
Right.
What you got? Did you bring me dinner?
I got soup.
You
I got
soup?
some
Okay,
potato
that's
soup.
Good. I
didn't-
bet it's homemade. Wendy made it
She
homemade.
did, yeah. I didn't
that's
bring you
nice.
anything, but I plans to bring you
That's
something
nice. Okay.
later this week.
All right. Something to look forward to.
This might be something to look forward
Okay.
to. Yeah, the
Mhm.
estimate for
Oh, yeah.
tonight's Mega Millions jackpot has officially topped $1 billion. It's $1 billion.
Would you quit your job?
We've talked about this,
Okay.
yeah. You would never see me again.
There was never even any hesitation.
No.
Well, the drawing is the third largest jackpot in games history. So you might remember an even larger $1.3 billion jackpot was won in Des Plaines back in July. A winner who takes the cash option for tonight's jackpot would get a payout just a mere, I don't know if you could live off of this, $577 million.
Hard.
I don't know. That's not enough. We'll have the winning numbers on our news tonight at 10. And if we are all here, like
And
by
we didn't
10:30,
win.
you know what happened.
So
Yeah.
you've been good at predicting. You predicted there'd be a winner, if I remember back. And then I think you predicted the Des Plaines winner, even though they can remain anonymous, would come forward. Because they waited till the last day, if you remember. And we were like, what happened? Did they lose the ticket?
Right.
And they didn't, and they must
It
have
was
lawyered
6
up.
months. Yeah.
Does it roll over again, you think?
What's today? Tuesday, 1.1, the last one.
I think it rolled over.
I do too. I have that
keep it
feeling.
going.
Yeah. Because I didn't play, so.
You got time.
I know till 9 o'clock, but I got to get food.
So winning numbers with you and Robbie tonight at 10. I'll be
play?
watching. I think Wendy got us a ticket, although she
really?
bought the wrong one. She bought the different one, but we're in something tonight.
Okay.
Powerball, I think that's
All
what
right.
she got.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
a good
I'll
one.
take
It's probably
it.
worth $200 million.
We'll make do.
Can you live off of that?
We'll make do.
All right.
So Prince Harry's memoir Spare hits bookstores around the world. Ahead, we're hearing from some of the first people to buy copies. Michelle, did you get it, Michelle, at the library? She's got it.
She read it, I'm sure,
I
before
bet
she
she
came
did.
to work.
We're
It's a
gonna-
page turner.
We're going to have some updates next.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we got to talk about it.
All right. Breaking news, former top Vatican official has died. Australian Cardinal George Pell faced accusations he assaulted 2 choir boys in the 90s, spent 13 months in jail. He was acquitted in 2020. Before those charges, Pell served as Archbishop of Melbourne and Sydney before becoming the 3rd highest ranked official in the Vatican in 2014. He had complications after hip surgery. Pell was 81 years old.
Well, Prince Harry's new memoir is setting record sales already. Barnes & Noble saying that Spare could set a one-day record here in the United States.
No surprise. In the United Kingdom, Penguin Random House calls it the fastest-selling nonfiction book ever. Remember when people were like, oh, nobody's going to read it? I mean, we weren't, but some people were speculating.
Well, you know, they were lined up at midnight in London when we were on the air last night.
The paparazzi over there wanted it to do horrible. It's not.
Yeah.
Some stores in London opened at midnight to sell the first copies of the book. There have been a lot of headlines after early copies of the book leaked. But many of these readers want to come up with their own conclusions.
I want to be able to paint the picture of myself, see it for myself.
I'm excited just to hear about Prince Harry's life from Prince Harry.
Yes, Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace not commented on the memoir. Our producer, Michelle, only a quarter of the way through, she says, so she's going through her own thoughts on the content. Long book.
She's doing research for us, so we can discuss it later, because that's what a good producer does.
She's been proactive about talking about, I mean, because I think it's a global story.
Right.
Whether you agree with what they're doing
All
or not.
over.
There's interest.
And it kind of makes him like us. You know, he's giving you insight into a life that you did not never really get an insight to.
People do. I think we're here on TV all the time. This show, for us, we've allowed. It gives us the opportunity to talk a little bit more about our personal lives.
Right.
I mean, hopefully we don't bore you or anger you. We might. But you're right. I think people care about those boys, especially Princess Diana alone, what happened to them afterward. Just watching him talk about that, to me, was fascinating in some of the interviews he did over the weekend.
Right. And he's going to be live tonight on a talk show.
Oh, he is?
I mean, some of the, late night talk shows. And
that's the problem some people also have with how he has to use the media to talk about it, right? I mean, that's the only way you can do it. But some people are like, they're the people you blame for a lot of who you are today. Yeah.
It's a lot of people. There's a huge interest. And like I told you yesterday, reportedly 4-book deal. So worth multiple millions of dollars.
What are the next 3 going to be? I guess you can
follow up to what happened after this one. You know, so much insight and receipts on things that are happening. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Michelle, you have an overnight assignment to read at least half of it, so you can tell us what it's
She'll be done by tomorrow,
Probably.
for sure.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
well,
she
maybe
said
by
okay.
this weekend. All right, because she's got something even bigger that she really has to focus on. It's called the Great Chicago Blood Drive.
We're excited to have some stuff on
that's
here.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
So Michelle has been working overtime to make sure we have all the elements covered, sharing stories,
We've been doing that.
testimonials. Yeah.
We'll have it on the program tomorrow, but up next we're talking to someone who's needed blood before and now donates to make sure blood is there for anyone who needs it. It's after the break. As the Great Chicago Blood Drive kicks off tomorrow, we want to introduce you to someone who's benefited from blood transfusions.
Well, now he is a loyal blood donor. Emery Taylor is joining us tonight. Welcome to the show, Emery. This is the hour of power, the golden hour, and we always celebrate positive vibes here on the show. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. So, Emery, tell us why you donate and give us a little bit about your journey story and some health and problems that you had that inspired you to donate.
Well, back in 2010, I was fortunate enough to receive an organ transplant because I was a diabetic prior to that, and it caused my kidneys to go out. So I needed dialysis, and I was fortunate enough to receive a transplant. And during my surgery, I needed a blood transfusion. So at the time, it didn't seem like a whole lot. But when I reflected back on it, had it not been for that transplant, among other things, who knows, I may not have even gotten the surgery.
Got to think at that time in your life, you're just thinking about survival and am I going to survive what I need, which is a lot of help and an organ donation, like you mentioned. And now that you reflect back on that and that strangers helped you, what would be your message to people who are watching who are going to be strangers donating blood that might help people like you? I mean, it saved your life.
Mm-hmm. It did. It's such a simple thing to do. I would encourage anyone, to just please give of yourself. It's really simple. I mean, after everything I've been through, I do it and I make it a priority. And, we make time for the things we really care about. Please make this a priority. It's very important.
So, Emery, before you needed a blood transfusion and blood donation help from the kindness of strangers and their generosity, you probably weren't even thinking about it. And there are a lot of people who are sitting here watching the interview today. You are inspiring them. But what about the people who are sitting here and saying they're a little concerned and scared to do it? What kind of advice and encouragement would you offer to them?
I would tell them, just think about it this way. You may find yourself in a very similar situation one day where you desperately need blood from someone, and they're running really low right now. So just give of yourself while you can, because it may be you on the other side of that operating table one day, and you may really need that blood. And it's such a simple thing to do. I can't stress that enough. It's really easy, it's simple, and you feel good after you do it.
I bet.
Yeah, Emery, can you share a little bit with us on how you get to and from your blood donation appointments?
For the most part, I use rideshare, Uber, Lyft. Every so often, someone will take me, but I like rideshare because it's more flexible.
And are you visually impaired?
Yes, I am.
And so you're able to use another service and they'll just take you right to. So wait, hold on. You receive transfusions and donations and now you're giving them as well?
Yes.
Wow. What an inspiration.
So your visual impairment is not hampering your ability to give to strangers and save lives. I mean, there are options even to do it that way.
There are so many ways to give, and I don't let my vision loss stop me, and really no one should let things stop them from doing something that's going to help so many people. It's truly just the circle of life, giving as others have given.
I love that. And Emery, real quick, when did you have your surgery when you needed the transfusion?
My kidney transplant was in 2010. That was courtesy of my wonderful sister. Wow. And my pancreas transplant was in 2006.
That's over a decade.
Incredible.
And you're doing phenomenal. Thanks for sharing your story with us. It takes a lot of courage to sit here with us on live television and express your emotions and let us know how you're doing. We really appreciate it.
I mean, and you are saving lives, Emery, for sure. The gift of life right there, because you're sharing your story, your journey story. You're inspiring people to say, hey, if he can do this, I can do this too. The gift of life, like you said.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And continue blessings to you.
Yes.
Stay healthy. Have a great new year, okay?
Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It was
All
our
right.
pleasure.
Yeah, I'd say blessings of guarantee in 2023, and I want to offer that to Emory tonight.
We
for
have
sure.
met so many, as we're leading up to the events in the next couple of days, people like Emory who their lives were changed because of transfusions and donations, and then they just keep paying it forward.
Right.
It's
love
awesome,
that.
man.
I love that. And it makes all the difference in the world. If you could save a life, you would do it.
Yes.
I mean, just
right.
that simple.
And it is so, you just think your blood, they're taking out my body, but you're saving multiple lives, as Emory shared with his transfusions and his organ transplants, and he's doing great.
His family. We saw some pictures of his beautiful family there too.
Okay, details tomorrow. You can donate at Navy Pier. There's free parking for anyone who donates, so don't worry about that. Or take a rideshare just like Emory does. You can do that. They'll drop you off right there. Also places to donate in Lake Zurich and Highland, Indiana, plus more locations on Thursday. We have a link to sign up at abc7chicago.com. Do I have this right, Michelle? We were reading the plans. We're also encouraging some walk-ins too, right?
Sure.
I saw that, so you can walk in if you're thinking about it, and then you wake up tomorrow and you're like, I forgot to sign up.
Right, I didn't make an appointment. Walk-ins are welcome, and just some incentive. You get a T-shirt, and the T-shirt is really cool. And then you get to register for a drawing to go to the Super Bowl in Arizona. I mean, if that's not enough incentive for you, let's go.
A lot of people will be at Navy Pier. Tomorrow looks like it's going to be nice. I hope, Phil, right? I think I listened to you. Yeah.
Great weather, that makes a difference.
It does.
It really does. And Phil said it's going to be not as nice as today, but it's just going to be warm, and the sun will be out tomorrow. So a little bit, he said, okay, a little bit of sun.
We'll ask him more, but it's going to be nice. It's going to be dry. It's not going to be 10 degrees.
And that matters. Some people might walk there because it's going to be nice enough tomorrow. Well, still ahead for us tonight, everybody. We're going to take you to Proviso West High School. To meet the girls on the school's first ever. It's the girls wrestling team. Phil, oh yeah, we're ready. She ready.
Yeah, we are talking about some warm weather with highs tomorrow up around 50 degrees. That's the end of the mild spell because it does turn somewhat colder Thursday, Friday. Could even be a little light rain snow mixture, especially south of the town on Thursday. But overall, these numbers still not bad for mid-January. We'll have your entire forecast in a few minutes.
More high school girls taking up wrestling. Last year, we saw the first ever girls high school state wrestling tournament here in Illinois.
At Proviso West High School, the girls wrestling program is changing lives. Race and culture reporter Will Jones tonight speaking with the student athletes and their coaches.
Up until a few months ago, most of the members of the Proviso West High School girls wrestling team couldn't tell you anything about the sport.
I've never even watched wrestling or even been intrigued.
But for some, it's been a dream to compete.
I've always wanted to wrestle ever since middle school, but I never got the chance to. So when I heard about wrestling, I was like, let me just go to it.
The opportunity came this school year at Proviso West. The school started a girls wrestling program.
My friend was like, go to wrestling with me. And I was like, I didn't even know we had a wrestling team. So I came down here and I saw all of this and I was like, this is really cool.
I just literally came in here and I just thought, like, you just throw yourself at each other, but there's actually technique to everything. I didn't know you actually had to think about your moves critically.
Wrestling is a tough sport. But each day these girls prove they're up for the challenge.
It's been really hard. Like, there's some days I just can't even like walk, but I love it.
This will teach you a lot about yourself mentally and physically.
For some of the girls on the team, this sport has been a lifeline that they didn't know they needed. Their coaches are keeping track of their progress.
Going to class, having respect, you know, being on time for practice, staying out there for extra practice, not fighting so much in the hallway, not arguing, paying attention in class more. You know, a lot of their teachers came to us about that, saying it's helping.
We want to get kids on the team. We want to help change lives.
Putting the wrestlers in position to win in competition and in life.
I'm more strict on myself now, and I feel like I've learned a lot, and I can use that as a leverage to do things as a grown-up.
Some of the female wrestlers love the sport so much, they're hoping to continue on in college, hopefully with a scholarship. Will Jones, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
There'll be scholarships coming out of that program.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
And wrestling is hard.
It is.
And it is
I mean,
exhausting.
they look like they're in phenomenal
You gotta be
shape.
fit.
I mean,
I was hoping Will would just get
oh no, he knew better. He knew better. He didn't have to do reporter involvement this time.
Right.
We got the picture for
I
sure.
can't wait to follow that team, though. It's a
I
good
know.
story. Yeah.
History. We love it.
yeah,
Thank you,
definitely.
Will. Always sharing great stories with us.
For sure. Taylor Swift continues to dominate the music charts. If you haven't heard,
Well, coming up, the streak she is setting on multiple charts.
25 years later, audiences are not letting go of the Titanic.
Let it go.
No, we're not, apparently.
That's
Is it about
Frozen.
him? Not, he could have got on the piece of wood and all that? I don't know. We're talking.
Let it go is Frozen, but
Oh, we're merging it.
oh, that's right. I
okay.
never let go, Jack. That line.
Okay. Keep me honest, Michelle.
Well, Rob's probably never seen it.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
seen this.
You have
one.
seen it? Okay.
That one I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
We'll be back. We'll be right back.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
It's you. It's me. Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero is back at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 singles. Phil loves my singing.
Yes.
It's for the 7th week
I
in
think
a
it's
row.
great.
That means that Anti-Hero is now tied with 2014's Blank Space as her longest running #1 singles. Just one more week on the top, and Anti-Hero will make a record itself. Now, Swift is also #1 on the Billboard Artist 100 charts, becoming the first artist to spend 60 weeks.
60 weeks.
Do you know what that comes out to? That's like a
More
year
than a
and
year.
like 2 months almost.
So, yeah, good.
Wow.
She is, yeah.
That.
People love her music.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
So, that's impressive.
Shake it off. It's gonna be okay. All right, Top Gun Maverick soaring to the top of the domestic box office in 2022. The film earning, wow, a whopping $719 million in the United States and Canada. It accounted for more than half of Paramount's overall haul for the entire year.
Disney was the highest grossing studio domestically.
Okay, see?
Getting boosts from the sequels to Avatar, Black Panther, and Doctor Strange. Disney, of course, the parent company of ABC7. In all, Disney earned some $2 billion at the domestic box office. That's of the $7.5 billion total, a number down about 34% compared to 2019 before the pandemic. These films are making money.
I mean, wow.
As we kind of figure out theater versus streaming at home.
Right.
They're making money.
And before the pandemic, and a lot of people are thinking they're waiting for it sometimes to come to their television because they're still nervous about going into movie theaters. So
that's a lot of
money. But we're glad. Go Disney.
That's right.
Yes.
Keep
all right.
making money.
Okay. Well, Titanic returning to movie theaters. Okay. It's in honor of the film's 25th anniversary. Can you believe it's 25 years? No. Technically, that would have been 2022 since the movie came out in 1997, but it won 11 Academy Awards. That was in 1998, so it still counts, right?
Yeah.
All right, so the film has been remastered for its return to theaters. I bet it's gonna look, even better. Titanic was the highest grossing film of all time until its director, James Cameron, released the Avatar in 2009. Now the film will rise in theaters on February 10th, just ahead, of course, of Valentine's Day. And we go back to Celine Dion not being in the Variety Top 200. Her song from that movie,
the greatest movie
King of the
all
World.
time, right? I mean, like that's a shame. She has to be in there just for that song.
They're going to redo it, right? Just for that song. Can you sing it for people who don't remember?
I hear the flute. Is it a flute? No?
Was that a flute?
I think so. This is my best impression. I saw that movie at the time. Phil, I know you saw it.
And she points her chest. She goes, on the
I wanted
on
to
the
see
crescendo.
the historical, like how close were they to the historical record? And Cameron was pretty, I mean, you look back at it, there's speculation on how it went down, but with the orchestra playing, when people were getting off onto the lifeboats, like that was pretty historically accurate.
Yeah, and like the first couple of lifeboats going out with a quarter capacity, that was true too. So they did keep it,
with the wealthy.
As close as they could.
With the
And did you hear, like, Leonardo DiCaprio did not want to audition for the movie? Do you remember originally?
Well, I know he didn't want to do the "I'm the king of the world" line.
Right. And that too, and he didn't want to audition back then.
I do think there was room for him on that little board. Like, they could have just grabbed, couldn't she have just...
the drama, you've got to create drama and love. And what's the line, Jack?
Would it have sunk, though?
I'm never let go, Jack.
Right.
Okay, is that how it was delivered?
She let go, and he sunk, and he was a frozen corpse. I just thought maybe he could get on, but they had to do the love story, and I get it. That's the fiction of it. So was that funny?
I just was waiting for the mayhem, to be honest with you.
Well, I do think they built it right. I wanted to see how it looked like, how it all unfolded on screen.
But I mean, just the magic of making that movie was extraordinary.
The love story was very well woven.
It was, I mean, it was unprecedented at that time, 25 years ago. So the movie making. So
and the mayhem was impressive.
The mayhem was very
really
realistic.
Was. I mean, it felt like didn't it feel like you could feel their suffering? I mean, it really did feel like that. What makes it a great movie?
I think so. You could feel this. You could hear them screaming. Yeah, that was real.
And I mean, there's so much to unpack on that one. So congratulations, 25 years, and we're still talking about it. So
we're running out of time on the show. We're going to do a last look at weather, but so we've been together for 2 shifts, and I want to publicly apologize to you, Cheryl, for making fun of your cursive writing. I did that off camera, and so we were talking cursive. This could be a whole other segment because she still writes cursive. She writes letters in cursive.
I do. I still write notes.
It's wonderful, Phil, but I just want to say I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I can reread it, Phil. So
I still love you.
Yeah, and there's no need for an apology. I didn't do anything wrong.
Because Phil never apologizes, but I still love him too.
She's very, very proud of her
Cursive.
writing,
We're gonna,
too.
all
I've
three
never
of
seen
us, next time you're on, we're gonna write something in
Yes,
cursive.
we should.
Okay.
A love letter.
Show it to
a
the
love letter to the
viewers.
show.
Just
Next
something
week is the
simple.
1 year anniversary.
Yes.
Love letter to the show.
Michelle's gonna write it.
Yeah.
Monica's gonna write it. Lee's gonna write in cursive, and you're all gonna guess
Yeah,
what it
a
is.
love letter to the show.
Yes, right.
We'll see who's king of the world. Okay. Cursive right.
Sorry, you got weather. Yeah.
Whatever.
We've eaten up most of your time.
All right, so let's talk about snowfall, something we haven't seen much of lately. So far for this season, we only have seen 4.5 inches. That is only about a third of normal, which is 12.8 inches by last year in the state. We are up to 6.1 inches, and we don't have much snow in this forecast. Here's a look at the European model showing rain Thursday into early Friday, but most places less than 1/10 of an inch. Far south into Kankakee County, northwest Indiana, slightly higher amounts. As far as snow, some is possible to mix with the rain on Thursday, but look at these snowfall totals. Most places, nothing. Could be about a half an inch of some slush from some lake effect late Thursday night into Friday in northwest Indiana. But again, no big snowstorms in sight. Today's high, what a day we had today. 50 degrees, some 18 degrees above average, but nowhere near that record of 60, which was set in 1975. Down to 33 in Woodstock, 34 in Lombard, 41 right now in Merrillville. A little colder to our north, 27 up there in Minneapolis, and 33 back in the Quad Cities. We do have a very weak disturbance approaching right now. You can see there is some precipitation trying to break out. Most, if not all of this, is going to stay to our north. It will cause some problems in the form of mixed precipitation up around the Twin Cities. But the biggest thing it will do for our area is increase the cloud cover. So while tomorrow will be another warm day with highs getting into the upper 40s, apart from a sprinkle here or there, it will be a dry day. Then the front comes through, turns our winds more to the north-northeast. Temperatures start in the mid to upper 30s and then kind of hold there throughout the day Thursday. There you see where the precipitation will be most prevalent, initially in the form of rain and mainly from the city on south. That could mix with and possibly change over briefly to some wet snow, but look at these numbers, still above freezing, so I doubt we'll see any precipitation. And here in the city, we'll see very little, if any, precipitation. There's the lake effect we'll have to keep an eye on for Thursday night into Friday, but again, it's not going to be a big deal. So for tonight, the clouds will continue to thicken. A mild night, outlying areas possibly dipping just below freezing, the low here in the city, 38. Tomorrow, still unseasonably mild from 44. Some places, even here in the city, could hit 50 degrees, though I think along the lakefront it'll be a little bit cooler thanks to that southeast wind. The extended outlook, no Arctic outbreaks on the way. As far as this weekend is concerned, we're talking about mostly cloudy skies Saturday with a high of 38. Sunday, the warmer of the 2 days. And as far as MLK Day, that's when it looks like we could possibly see some rain. But look at that high, up around 50 degrees. We're going to be back with more after this break.
Last look at breaking news, people getting set up in Springfield. It's a live look now. Governor Pritzker set to sign an assault weapons ban into law in just a few minutes. We'll have reaction tonight at 10, so more coming up in a couple hours.
But now as we close out the 7 tonight, we have uplifting and empowering women. This is a very special bag of M&Ms. It features all the female spokes candies from the brand. So that's the purple, brown, and green candies voiced by women. They're upside down to celebrate women who are flipping the status quo, and you can find the packs in milk chocolate, peanut butter, and part of the profits will go to organizations that support women. This is a fantastic project.
Yeah, good way to end the show.
And a delicious one, too.
Right.
All right, we'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock, everybody, over on ABC 7. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday night.
Winning lotto numbers, too, you'll have.
Yep.